The rain was pounding against the glass walls of one of the tallest corporate towers in the city, turning the skyline into a blur of gray sorrow, when a tired janitor quietly pushed his mop across the marble floor, unaware that this ordinary moment was about to become the turning point of his life. His worn shoes squeaked with every step, and the exhaustion in his eyes carried the weight of years of struggle, sacrifice, and silent pain. He was invisible to everyone rushing past him, but behind that humble uniform lived a story so powerful it would soon shake the entire building to its core. Before we dive deeper into this emotional journey, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and stories that remind us of our humanity, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to Bright Hearts so we can keep bringing you stories that truly matter. His name was Daniel, a single father who had lost everything except his daughter and his dignity. Every night before his shift, he kissed his little girl on the forehead as she slept in their tiny apartment, whispering promises he wasn't sure how he would keep. Promises of a better future, of school trips he couldn't afford, of dreams he refused to let die. The world had not been kind to him. After his wife passed away suddenly, medical bills and grief had swallowed their savings. A once respected professional had been forced to take whatever job he could find, and so he became a janitor in a place where powerful people in sharp suits rarely noticed the man who cleaned their messes. This building belonged to a global tech empire run by a ruthless and brilliant CEO named Victoria Hale. She was known across the industry for her icy confidence, her impossible standards, and her intolerance for anything she considered weakness. To her, people like Daniel were just part of the background, necessary but forgettable, like the walls and the floors. She walked through the halls with an aura of control, her heels clicking like a metronome counting the seconds of everyone else's lives, never once slowing down for anyone beneath her. One morning, as Daniel was quietly cleaning a conference room that had just hosted an important international meeting, Victoria stormed in, furious about a miscommunication with a major Chinese investor. Papers were scattered, and tension filled the air like static before a storm. She barely glanced at Daniel as she spoke harshly about incompetence and lost opportunities, her frustration spilling into the room. When she noticed a tiny smudge on the glass table that Daniel had not yet wiped, she snapped, her voice sharp and cutting, treating him as if he were the problem rather than a human being doing his best. Daniel lowered his head, swallowing the familiar sting of humiliation. He had learned long ago that responding would only make things worse. But inside him burned a quiet fire, a reminder of who he used to be, of the skills and knowledge the world no longer cared to see. He had once worked overseas, had once studied languages and culture, had once dreamed of a life far beyond a mop and a bucket. Yet none of that seemed to matter anymore. As Victoria continued venting about the failed deal, something unexpected happened. A message from the Chinese investors appeared on her phone, filled with confusion and frustration because of a mistranslation that had derailed everything. The deal, worth millions, was on the verge of collapsing. Her assistants scrambled, panic spreading through the room. No one seemed able to understand the rapid Mandarin messages coming through, and time was running out. That was when Daniel quietly spoke, his voice calm and steady, translating every word with perfect clarity. The room fell silent as he continued, explaining not only the words but the cultural nuance behind them, revealing exactly how the misunderstanding had occurred and how it could be fixed. His Mandarin was flawless, smooth, and confident, like someone who had lived and breathed the language for years. Victoria stared at him, stunned. The janitor she had just dismissed was now the only person who could save her company from a devastating loss.